Welcome back to Beyond Worlds. This week we are going to be going over 2024.
Some of our favourites, some of the things that were not our favourites, and some from anime, video games, movies.
Everything, books, manga. I think, did you say that one? I can't remember.
But if not, manga again.
Yeah, 4 times.
So come and join us.
In another world. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back to the Beyond Worlds podcast. We're in my room.
Yeah, we're in the fancy room.
Fancy room, I like
we're
that.
We're in the studio.
Got some bits out to show.
Yeah, surrounded by goodies.
Yeah.
It's different every time I come here as well. Like, I kid you not, this shelf has changed, and there's a lot on this shelf, and the fact that it has changed, like, just goes to show.
I do intend to do like a room tour at some point. It is my treasure trove, and I've been collecting it over many years. So
I mean, you can just see this, and this is like 1%, probably.
Yeah. But glad that you're here.
Yeah.
And it kind of works out because I've been wanting to do like a wrap up end of year special. A bit late, I know, sort of a couple of weeks in to Jan.
It's all relative.
Well, it gives you
some time to finish off some stuff from 2024.
Yeah, sit on it a bit, reminisce. Don't have recency bias because. I mean,
because most of my stuff is going to be from December.
Yeah. Well, that's it. December was a month away, and January was 12. So the things that we saw in January are so much further away. So I wrote all mine down. I have extensive notes. I don't know if they came up on the video of the last. I got tons. Some of it double-sided.
I have notes, but it's like 6 different tabs I've got on my phone of lists. And I'm like, yep, cool, that one's sweet, that one's sweet, that one's sweet, that one's sweet. I've got games, and I've got a couple of TV shows, but January, I have no idea what I watched in January at all. Like, I would just be going through my browser history, being like,
so that's what I was going to say. To come to an episode like this, like a 2024 wrap-up, we're not going to be specifically manga or anime or Gunpla. Some highlights of our year, things that were either really good, maybe some things that we wish we'd passed on. Mainly positive, I do think. Could end up
don't have too much.
Running a little bit longer. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. We might get absorbed and totally go off tangent. I mean, that's what we do. So.
And before we forget, because we are bad at doing it, if you are here, you're a first time watcher or anything like that, please do put stuff down in the comments for us. It's super helpful. We'd really, really appreciate that.
Great challenges.
Yeah. Great challenges. So what I was getting at is when you come to an episode like this, when we come to wrapping up 2024 and you need to look back through the year, are there any tools that you have? Because I've got some tools I use. So is there anything that you have that in order to look back across the year and see, well, what did I do? What did I watch? What did I read?
So my brain restarted the year at Expo. So from May, because that's when I hadn't watched a lot of anime and stuff before that. I mean, I had, obviously, but May there was a focus to it after that because it was all Gundam.
Yeah, and we also had the podcast from that point.
Yeah, so it's from when we started for me. So
okay.
I mean, there might just be random stuff, the odd thing, but most of it would probably be from then for me.
Because we do have tools at our hands. We have the podcast, so if we wanted to, we could go back and even just look through the titles and be like, okay, well, what were we looking at in past months? I go back through my history on Crunchyroll, and now they've got that wrap up. So I go, okay, well, what was I watching a lot of? I have an Excel document. This is how nerdy I am. So I have an Excel document, and with this document, throughout the year, games I buy and games that I finish, I put into this doc. And I was also doing books I was reading and trying to keep up with manga.
That's cute.
And so that way, at the end of the year, what I do, what I've done previously, pre-podcast, is the first year of doing it, is I would just create a picture, which was everything I'd finished throughout the year. And then I'd upload it to Twitter, back when it was called Twitter. And I had no one watching it. It was just like a little memory capsule for me. Because now I can go back through my Twitter and look at each year the games I finished, the games I played.
That's cute.
Yeah, so that's what I use.
So I've got like a mental store of lots of stuff.
Oh yeah,
but I need like triggers to set them off. Like when the Dan to Dan anime got announced, I was like, yes, I've been waiting for that. Right, this time go back and reread it.
Yeah.
So I there's lots of stuff that I may have done a couple of years ago or started a couple of years ago when they were fresh, but because they've been recently trigger memoried and there's fresh stuff about them, so I'm including those. Like,
no, dude, it's we all have our ways of doing it, right?
Yeah.
So like, let's just jump in. What is one of your favorite things of 2024?
Gunpla.
The whole
just Gunpla.
Gunpla.
Yeah, like so. Obviously, like hobby focus changed for me, and I was adrift for a little while. But then I don't know, just Gunpla just was sort of perfect. Like those when we found those little figures in Forbidden Planet, and got home, made it that night, and it's like I'm pretty sure I went back the next day. I got a proper one, and just hooked. I don't know, just tickles all the right things. I've never sort of been like particularly artistically creative. It just doesn't spark for me. But like with Gunpla, I've got a creative outlet. And I've sort of, I'm not majorly into the modifying of them. Yeah, I've got a lot of tools, some tools for it. I say a lot, not really, but I've got a few. And I like all the cleanup process and stuff. But I can I've got all the pens to try and do different linings and try color stuff in. So it's because it has allowed me to sort of explore that creative freedom that I've never really done before in that way, in an artistic way.
And so you got to set up your desk.
Yeah, exactly.
And there was collecting the tools. You have a lot now, but there's things you still want.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Learning about
there's
it.
a little Hoover for the nubs I want. It's a little handheld one. Great.
It's something to really get stuck into.
Yeah.
And it's nice that it doesn't, it's only been just over 6 months of it, but it doesn't seem to have been a phase.
No.
Like, I can't believe how much I have. So up here, I've just got boxes. Again, there'll be a room tour, but boxes of unopened Gunpla. And yeah, my backlog is huge. But
I count 24 up there, just like going up and down, up and down, up and down. So yeah.
We went hard fast. And you can hear that on the podcast. Some of our most popular episodes are some of our Gundam episodes. So those of you who are here because of that, you are going to get a lot of that in this episode, I think. Because I'd have to agree that it's definitely one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Discovering it, learning about it, finding these YouTubers, and then having each other.
Yeah. So having someone to nerd out about it with.
Yeah.
Properly.
There's definitely a lot that we've come together over this year. Gunpla's amazing. And then there's the other side of Gunpla is all the Gundam. So I wasn't blown away by this year's. I think that's one of my little bit of a disappointments, not to jump straight into disappointments, but is that I haven't really given it its due yet, its time that it probably deserves. So I've watched like an episode and a half, but just struggled to go back and watch it. It's like, I'll watch it at some point.
What, for Gunpla?
No, the Gundam, the Netflix show.
Oh.
So that's a little bit of my disappointment is... So when it comes to the shows, I've loved getting into all the old Gundam this year, but none of that's recent. So I'd say old Gundam, I've loved getting into, like Zeta, Double Zeta, the original, and then Thunderbolt, like learning all these different worlds. But the one that I really wanted to be the best, maybe, this newest release was just not. So, and I'm very excited for this year.
But then when we did first start watching MSG, you weren't a fan. Really? Well, I know it was mainly of Amuro.
Yeah, that was it. So I was watching
some apprehension in that. So but I don't know. I think Gundam just does start slow. I think maybe they're trying because it's set around that time. They may be trying to. I'm just making excuses.
Well, did you watch the?
No, I haven't watched any of it.
So and
I haven't watched any of it.
Do you not think that's mad? How much we're into it, and there's a show that has been released this year. We can get really into it. It even had like Fortnite collaborations, and we just glossed over it.
I didn't want to watch it in English, and I don't know what happened when I went to watch it. There wasn't a Japanese dub, so I wanted when I haven't tried to go and look and see if it is dubbed now.
Okay,
but I don't. I know. I might have just been wrong, but I did put an episode on to a start, and they were still talking English. I was like, no. don't like it.
No.
But it was just that I didn't really give it a chance in English. I just heard English. Was like, no,
Fair enough.
I want some Japanese because I wanted that to like. Japanese voice actors for me have just got a way of over dramatizing their voice so much, and things just sound so much cooler in Japanese. I think, like if you see Japanese dubs of some movies, like clips and stuff, this like they sound so much more intense.
Yeah.
Well, voice actors do. I know the actors do as well, but So I wanted to watch it like that because it seemed, even though it doesn't seem comical, because of how it's animated, it does. And yeah, I don't know. There's a strange apprehension to watching it. I have always been a bit apprehensive about this one. So
yeah,
I do think the Gundam and the Zaku looks good. So.
I agree. The Gunpla look cool if you can get your hands on it, which I haven't been able to. But if it had been this year's, the new Evangelion sort of mashup one, well, not mashup, but the creator or suit designer getting involved, that one I'm mega excited. That's going to be like a day one binge for me, and I know it will be. Because it's got that Witch from Mercury vibes, which was one of those first shows that really grabbed me with both hands and pulled me in.
Yeah, you love that one.
Yeah.
Was that a 2024 release?
No. Okay. So no, that's been out a while. Okay. But it's for us. It was. Do you know what I mean? We grabbed onto it this year. Great show from this year that I really liked. So yeah, when I made my notes, there's a
Gundam.
Well, it's not even a Gundam list. There is a lot of Gundam on it, but this is all the stuff that I watched, and then I've gone over some of the bits that are specific to this year. So I thought maybe between shouting some things out, I'll just go over some bits because it's a bit of fun. So where did this start? I think on here. So this is some of my anime, and I'll maybe do a page on a bit. But so came out this year, massive disappointment to me was Buchigiri. So that was the one about the guy who had the genie powers. I think I told you about it. You're on the podcast, and it was all about fighting spirits, and so they become these strong ass characters. But the MC is a wimp, and all he want to do is get laid, and he's got like diarrhea problems. So when he feels awkward, he shits his pants. And I just I gave it a real good chance. I think I watched about 8 or 9 episodes, and I was like, I can't.
Credit to you for giving it that long. I'd have been like half. And I'm done next.
One that I fell into after watching a series, we were talking about like scrolling Crunchyroll and finding different things. Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun. So I think I showed it to you yesterday. Yeah. I wanted demons, and I wanted like the weird, quirky enemies from One Piece and things like this. I wanted Magellan, and that kind of delivered a little bit. It was just the story was so stupid. And getting on to one that you advised me to watch, and is very recent for us because we watched the live action last night, and that's Kingdom. So that first season, the opening of Kingdom, although the animation style is very, very dated, that opening of Kingdom is phenomenal. I watched it, and I think the dub is odd. That was another thing that at times it just seems really out of place. The Kingdom, and now, I mean, we've watched it this year, so unfortunately it's kind of fallen out of our 2024 list. But to jump into what we've been doing recently, Stephen obviously stayed last night. Well, not obviously, you did. And we just hang out, we watch stuff. And Kingdom came up, and you love the anime. The manga. And very, very close to being up to date on it. I love the anime from what I saw of it, but did fall off just because other stuff was coming out, and it's epically length. So it's not like, if I watch a few more episodes, I'll finish it.
Yeah, there was three more seasons or something. Yeah,
but what I saw was great, and the live action
was very fun. Like it was true to story. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I plan on watching the rest when I get home. So for sure.
And the rest you mean because there is 4 movies. So we finished the first one, got maybe half an hour into the second one. That was when we fell asleep because we're old men now. Fell asleep watching a movie. So hey bud, it's 1 a.m. Let's go to bed. And then there's 3 and 4 comes out on Netflix this week. So Netflix did good with that one. So another one I watched, not in full, but Skeleton Knight in Another World. It looks a bit overworldy. So it's a big suit of armor, and he's got a skeleton head.
think I saw someone say that an anime was coming out for that, and I went and I read the manhwa or webtoon of it. Not all of it, but some of it. Or because there's this one. It's got a slightly different name as well. There's another one, so it might not be the same, but there might, because there's definitely more than one of these. But
well, I enjoyed it, but obviously not enough to keep going because that's when I dropped. I wouldn't not go back to it though. Whereas Buchigiri, I'd never go back to.
Yeah,
unless something mad happened that changed everything. But, another bit of a disappointment, but also like a total guilty pleasure, and that's that time I got reincarnated. That time I got reincarnated as a slime, which the third season has kind of been panned, and I said it on the podcast, and it looks like people agree, is very much a town committee, the anime, for the whole season. So they just sit around discussing stuff and nothing really happens.
Yeah. So why are you into the bureaucracy of running the town?
Yeah.
Just let that happen in the background.
Yeah. For some reason, though, I watched it all. And I'm hoping the next season it'll all pay off. So maybe it was just a really slow build.
Yeah.
We are 3 seasons in.
I can't say I've ever got very far into the manga of that, so I don't know enough to try and reassure you.
I'm a bit disappointed. I love the start of that, and we watched that together at the start. And often things we watch together I do have a soft spot for. But yeah, a bit of a disappointment. Oh, excuse me. That was a burp, if you didn't know. Today's update. Cells at Work, the original. I tried to give that a go. And again, it's great, but Code Black is so much more gritty that it's almost like a baby version. So one that I'm sure is going to come up again. So maybe I'm going to skip over that. There's one here.
That's number one.
We'll skip over that actually. Mobile Suit Gundam, the original. Started watching that this year and finished. And by the end of it, loved all the characters. Amuro, he went on a slow learning journey. But when he gets there, that slow learning journey was all worth it.
He needed some of them slaps from right.
Yeah, and his mum and all sorts of people, man. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
But yeah, phenomenal. And again, we'll talk about it a lot here. We talk about it a lot every week. But Mobile Suit Gundam, we rate. Koji number 8 came out this year. It sort of flew out real quick.
Yeah, people really love that one, didn't they?
Yeah. I get why. I didn't see... I like the intricacies of that demon sort of entering him and we don't know why. We should say spoilers for all of this year's content throughout this. We're not going to hold back on things. The way, in Kaiju number 8, that demon sort of takes him over at the beginning. And that's the reason for his evolution and his changing. I thought that was very different, really clever. And it looks like he's not the only one by the end of the season.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure I got up to date on the manga a while before the anime came out, and it's a good read. It subverts your expectations a little bit. I think it's a solid piece of work.
And I think we've got a whole episode about it. So if you want to hear more about that, jump back in through Spotify. Darwin's Game you recommended to me, and I think. I don't know if you'd seen it or you just like, this one's just came up. You should, I think you might like it. And it was really cool. So there's a mobile app that everyone gets. Well, not everyone, that these certain people get. And if you get it and you agree to the terms and conditions, basically, you're entered into the game where they pit you one-on-one against other people and you each have like specialties. Someone can go invisible. And it's try and stay alive. And it started off really, really strong. Ended super, super weak. So I didn't fully enjoy that one. One that started weak and ended strong for me, and I can't believe I'm saying it, is Remonster. Like, we found it hilariously awful.
Logo, the movie, or the series.
But there's something about it. I can't put my finger on it.
It doesn't try and pretend it's anything other than what it is.
And it's constant hits of story. They don't linger on anything. There's never any powering up. It is just... this is the day and this is tomorrow and this is the day but every day fun stuff happens
and let's go fucking
adventures be had and have multiple children cross with it's proper harem but something that didn't come out this year but I did refinish this year is Spy Family, so I'm all up to date now with that.
Nice.
Which is cool because we're very much trying to get my daughter to like Anya, and she does. You got her the toy for her birthday. So yeah, Spy Family's one that's a bit close to this family's heart.
Yeah.
If you don't know what Spy Family is, just check out Spy Family.
Anya.
And then the last one on this page, and we'll move on to some more of your favourites, is The Witch from Mercury, which again I've absolutely gone on and on about how much I love that anime and the characters, the Gundam designs, the Ariel is just so cool, and yeah, I think it's wicked.
Nice. Well, I mean, a lot of my anime picks for the year would be Gundam ones. So Zeta is just, I'd say, it's a masterpiece of work.
Yeah.
The Unicorn series is very cool.
Still haven't seen that one.
It's got some sweet animation and it just escalates over the top, like real quick, and it's quite heartwarming at points. And then G Gundam, of course, that one's just instantly got a soft spot in my heart. Burning Finger.
And that guy there is from that was one of your Christmas presents.
The Undefeated of the East, the Master Gundam. Yeah, Gundam everywhere.
Sorry, Bernard.
Yeah, Domon was he's such a funny character, man. And then, although I did say that would probably be number one, actually Bleach is number one anime for me of the year. Because it's just doing everything so perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, as a fan that didn't get the final arc of one of their favorite animes animated, favorite mangas animated, when it just stopped just before the end because he had to rush the end so much. It was good reading, but you can tell it's rushed. And for Kubo to be able to express his true ending and for it to be done so beautifully, so perfectly, it is just. So there's a heartwarming bias.
Yeah, I don't think you're on your own. I think a lot of people do feel like you, and that's not to say your opinion is basic in any way. I think
Bleach fans are eating good
and there was a lot of
years. Yeah,
it just goes to show that people were true to the show.
It's funny because when me and Eddie, when we lived together, we went to an expo, and he was like, I think that was about the time Core 1 had just been announced and it was coming out later that year.
Okay.
And he was like on the eye out for Bleach characters. There was only 2. And then when we go back, it's everywhere. It just shows that they were just hiding in the woodwork.
Yeah. And the animation style is obviously, I've seen little clips, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just out of this world.
Studio Period of outdone themselves.
Yeah, no, truly. Absolutely.
It is just beautiful scene after beautiful scene. Music's perfect. It's got that proper Bleach vibe to it, and just everything upgraded.
And not one that I'm up to date with. That is one of my little gaps, and it's something that I do feel like I'm missing. I've got FOMO over.
Yeah, I mean, it's the last of the big 3 from our generation. I mean, there isn't another big 3. It's the last of the big 3. So it's definitely something worth doing. I mean, if you can get up to date on One Piece, you can get up to date on Bleach easy. Yes, you can. One of the filler arcs is all right, but the others you can skip. So there is a good 100 and some episodes you can skip.
Okay. I'll figure out a way if I read it or I watch it.
I'll lend you the DVDs.
So what else from the year? Is there any non-anime, any books that you've discovered this year or series that you think are really special?
I mean, Malasan's always going to hold a special place in my heart. I mean, finishing, I think, which one was it that I finished this year? I think it was Reaper's Gale. That is just so freaking cool. Because I sort of dropped off of reading it and then went back to it this year. Yeah, Reaper's Gale, was it this one? Yeah. And this one basically ends in a war between sentient velociraptors with sword arms. And another army in the middle of them. Yeah, bro, Malasan's mad. What they called the Kachin Mail and the Kachan something else. It's got a mad world. So that's probably my favorite book of the year because it's taken so long to read. If Dungeon Crawler didn't fall into this year, it would be in the list as well because that's very, very, very good reading. We'll get into that more soon.
The next Beyond Worlds Book Club.
Yes. A lot of TV shows. I think that Shogun is the best TV show I've seen all year. It is out of this world.
Yeah?
Yeah. Acting is just phenomenal. The story is amazing.
That is really exciting because I've been wanting to watch Shogun. Everything people say about it, like, and you're gushing about it now.
Yeah.
It's our sort of subject matter as well. The sort of
it's samurais, bro.
Yeah,
samurai's gonna samurai, and it's got a cool Christian plot over to it as well. Okay. So, but the Portuguese, obviously the Catholic Church in Japan, got there first, and it's about a Protestant Christian like washing up on the shores, sort of thing. He doesn't wash up on the shores, but he's trying to get to Japan. But how that story evolves. There's obviously shit going on in Japan. Young king that isn't quite able to be king yet. All that jazz.
Part of me is like, do I wait and watch it for the next Ghost of Tsushima game? Because then I get to play it as well.
Yeah.
I do. I like to get involved when I'm watching sort of samurai stuff. I want to play it. I want to read about it.
I can give you some anime to watch at the same time.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I haven't watched very many samurai anime, but some more anime I did watch this year. Right, here's some more of it. I think this one, this is probably dude. I try and watch a lot for this. So obviously we have a podcast where we talk about anime, and I just really enjoy trying to get my fingers into all the pies. So yeah, this next page, this one's quite recent, which was ReZero.
I am very much like this with manga though.
Yes. So. That's like, so the time you would spend reading manga, I have more time to watch an anime.
Yeah.
They hands more free.
Yeah.
So ReZero is starting life in another world, which I thought the first 2 seasons were really good. The third season, I've stopped after a few episodes. I do want to get back to it. I just think I burnt out on it.
Need a break.
Yeah, I just need a break. So that's about the guy, again, spoilers, sorry, but he has the power to rewind time once he's killed. He doesn't know exactly how far back he's going to go. It's like he calls it the save point. And the life he's sort of been a part of is that there's a lot of danger around every freaking corner, and people constantly trying to kill him, and he does die in many, many horrific ways and remembers each death. And really dark, but also trying to be light and silly, and
then just turns it up. It's fine, and then whoa, you're getting eaten from the inside out by rabbits.
And that's the bit you said about the rabbit bit, and I kept waiting for it. I was like, oh, it can't be that bad. Like, it's rabbits. It's that bad. But they explain it in such a good way as well. That's what
makes it so terrifying.
Shangri-La Frontier. So that's currently airing still. We could actually watch another episode after this, I think. I don't know how caught up you are if you randomly drop in. I'm not, so maybe not. But Shangri-La is really, really good. It's really kicking things off. There's a big battle with Lycagon at the moment. I know I'm not spoiling things for Steven here because he has read it. So in the anime, there's a big fight with Lycagon, the second meeting, as it were, and they seem to be doing pretty well at the moment. And I think the next episode will be the resolution. So those of you who are up to date on Shangri-La will be ahead of me right now. So hopefully that was good. One Piece, obviously it's on a big break now, but that's been coming out for the start of the year. And that was a brilliant arc, super fast moving. The second half is where a lot of the lore drops really
big time.
Drop hard, but there is a decent enough in the first half that you're eating, right? Like, so that's Egghead Island with One Piece. It's good, and having the manga sort of ongoing while the break's been on has fed my One Piece.
You get drip traps.
Not been a problem. Mashal season 2. Mashal is so much fun. It's so stupid, and I'm not a gym bunny, but I like to do my weights and stuff, and just having that knowledge side, like this guy is insanely strong, and his will is nuts, and it's just like good for you, dude. So the mashup between muscles and magic.
Yeah.
Someone's so incredibly strong that he flies on a broom by running on in the spot so fast that he hovers.
Yeah.
He can create fires by rubbing stuff together so fast that it...
Triceps magic.
Yeah. Very, very cool. My hero.
Yeah, My Hero is great. I finished the manga last year, and it would be up there. It's got a bit of a disappointing ending, I think, because I think but it was probably rushed. So
there was a follow-up chapter, I think. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I've read that one.
Okay.
Too.
But the
season
season's
feels weird because it should have just been included.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't know why people do that. Very strange. But yeah, My Hero. I think everyone knows what My Hero is and why people like it, and it's still, for me, it's doing its job. There are times in the past sort of season where I was a bit bored, but it seems to have brought it back. Hell's Paradise, I thought was wicked. That didn't come out this year, but I watched it this year, and that really didn't see where it was going. It's different. The sort of island adventure with really mad demons and stuff, crazy yokai, and
I like how fluid the art is. It's very much like a wall painting almost.
Stunning.
Which is it's just a bit different. It's cool to see.
And much more interesting, I think, than something else I would finish watching this year, which was Jujutsu Kaisen, which, not to yuck people's yum, it's just another... For me, that wouldn't be one that I would spend much time discussing, but it's another anime.
Yeah.
I don't get the Please do someone tell me in the comments, and not aggressively, because I'm open to trying to rewatch things through another set of eyes. I don't see what makes it special.
Yeah.
Or stand out really in any way.
Same. Like so I just don't get it.
I thought I'd see it the more I watched.
Yeah. Well, I've read up to date where the anime is. I'm past where the anime is, and I stood like the manga even I'm like, man, about this.
Yeah.
It's alright.
It seems
it's nothing special.
If there's like high schoolers, I don't know. It just seems like people gravitate.
That's what I think. Yeah, I mean, shonen isn't aimed at people our age.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
The reason if we tried to read Naruto now for the first time, we'd probably be like, "Oh, I don't know, Naruto. You could." Naruto, all of those. Yeah, I don't know. It just
because that was special, Naruto. But something again even better, I think, than Jujutsu Kaisen, because let's not sit on it. Our opinions on that are known. It's fine. It's not garbage.
Yeah,
it's just not the coming of Christ. Kingdoms of Ruin. So that you recommended to me, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's that, but the witchy one.
Yeah, the witchy one. And I would have a hard time. Would you be able to explain the plot of it? Because that for me was so complicated, and I watched it all in one go.
So, magic has been outlawed basically on the planet, and there's this one kid that's been raised by a witch who gets captured and then her head chopped off.
Yes,
he wants revenge on humanity
for killing
her. Yeah.
Yes. It turns out she wasn't the last witch.
Yes, it's more witchies.
I would really like another season of that, because that was darkly freaking dark.
There wasn't many manga chapters of that.
Oh no!
So I mean, there's a bit more story, but it would only probably be able to get to season 2 at this point. That got picked up really quickly.
And one that everyone has heard of at this point, and I really enjoyed the manhwa when I was reading it, and that's Solo Leveling. Again, we've done a whole episode on it. Our opinions are well known.
So I do want to go back and reread Solo Leveling from past the point.
Okay.
Because there's the sequel manhwa's out as well, and I've seen some just gnarly shit about that. And I do kind of want to read that, see how that goes. So, but like, Sunjin Muruga gets just dummy strong.
Yeah.
Like, I see on power scaling threads on Reddit that. Because I like that kind of shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, one that isn't at all is Fire Force. I finished watching that, and I really, really liked what I watched. Again, that's not a this year's show. Solo Leveling was this year, but Fire Force not. Neither was Kingdoms of Ruin. But Fire Force is everything that I wanted, and I remember. I think right at the start I said to you, it reminds me of another anime. I was like, it really reminds me of this anime. The art style is very much this. And you're like, there's a reason for that. I guess we're in spoilers, but yeah, that's spoiling the future, so it doesn't really count.
It's kind of, it's like a badly kept secret.
I'd like to do an episode on that, looking into other places where it might pop up. But yeah, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Ranking of Kings, Treasure Chest of Courage did not come out this year, but I wanted more Ranking of Kings. And it's like, did you see the extra Ranking of Kings season they did?
No, I haven't seen that one.
So it's random shorts, and so like each episode is 2 parts, and each part is like a little story with Boji, or I can't remember his name, Denji, Shadow, but not Denji, that's Chainsaw Man. But it's a little snippets of each of the characters. It might be like from a perspective of Boji's brother. And it's just showing the characters' daily lives at different points of the actual story.
Okay.
So it's not additive in any way. It's
alongside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't regret watching it. I wouldn't tell you to watch it. That's how I feel about that one. Rising of the Shield Hero. One again where I thought the beginning went hard, and by the end, I did watch all of it. It just becomes about spirits all of a sudden, and less about, I don't know. It went off on a tangent. It's a guy gets summoned wrongly into another world as a shield bearer, which is the worst hero for whatever reason, and they hate the shield hero, and they think like people. A girl tries to befriend him at the start, and then accuses him basically of rape, and he gets imprisoned, and it's just the worst things that can happen to a person.
Yeah,
over and over and over.
The start sets up a different story to what happens in the story.
Yeah,
like if it had carried on down that track where his life was just absolute bollocks the whole time, I would have preferred it.
Yeah,
like, but the fact that he did nothing wrong, but the fact that he proved that he did nothing wrong so quickly, just like
made you less bothered.
Yeah,
and
it just, that part of the story just felt like unnecessary.
But alongside that, there was parts where maybe some of the characters should have acknowledged that it was all bullshit. Because they were like right there next to him. It was like he'd be stood next to him. It's like, oh, that guy just touched you in the ass. It's like, but you were stood there. How did you move so quickly? And it's like, no, like, come on, like, use some common sense. But yeah, and very similar anime in a lot of ways, but much better. Another isekai, Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic. So the guy gets imbued with healing magic, but they use the healing magic in order to become stronger and to train harder, because you can heal your muscles as soon as you've done it. So then you just train and train and train. So you end up with insane physical strength through healing. Very clever. And I harped on about it. And when I did these lists, that's one that would definitely make it onto my top anime, and definitely one of my top surprises of 2024.
Okay.
The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic is really cool. I have, there's, I think, episodes throughout the podcast where I've harped on about it, especially while I was watching it, and I definitely want another season of that. And then the last one on this list, Shadow's House, and that has like a bit of a Promised Neverland-y start. It's got very much feelings of mystery and thriller, and a load of orphans in a house, and these things called dolls. Well, they're told they're dolls, and they think that they're like automaton sort of creatures, but there's a whole other side to these dolls. Okay. Really, if you want a mystery anime, it's fantastic for that. The one thing is it will leave you blue-balled because currently it doesn't finish the story, and supposedly there's no known next to the story.
Okay.
So yeah, that's some more of my list about it. And don't worry, guys, there is only one more page of anime.
So I'm just bringing up some mangas. So
manga.
Yeah. There they go. Yeah, I lost it. That's the bottom one. That's the one. So,
here we go.
What's that? Right back here.
Crikey. That's a lot of scrolling.
Yeah, a little bit.
How might you be reading that as it's going past so quickly?
Because it's all says.
Oh, it's all the same.
Yeah, so it doesn't actually change all that much. And I know I'm only looking out for the symbol, so I'll stop then. Because this will go back to 8.9. Right, there we go.
Well,
so yeah,
you got it.
Cool. Yeah. So, I'm going to start with this one because this has probably been this is my second favorite find of the year.
Okay, cool.
And I'll do one last, but it's just so good. Trojan X is it's not a sequel to Tokyo Ghoul, but it's the writer's next work. And it's got very similar vibe, but much more light-hearted. It's still got that dark side to it, but it's much more light-hearted. There's, you don't have to go around eating people. I mean, I get that was part of the. I don't know, it's just a bit too edgy for me. In Tokyo Ghoul, but I really really enjoyed Trojan X. I do not know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, we were trying to work out the pronunciation, weren't we?
Trojan or Trojin or something like that.
Trojin.
But it's all. I don't want to talk about it too much because Joe hasn't read it yet.
Nice book,
and that was my present to him for Christmas, was book number 1. And finding out then he'd already purchased 2 to 6 in preparation was very funny.
You did sort of tease it, and I was like, right, yeah.
Okay, well, okay,
I'm gonna go hard.
It's really nicely, real nice artwork, and some mad big panel stuff, and like some really nice detailed things. And then there's a couple of other really good ones that I mentioned. Blame to you the other day. I can't really do justice to describing Blame to people, but if you've never heard of it, just go and check out the manga of Blame and just look at some of the stills. Just look at some panels of it to get an idea. This guy, I can't remember the name of the manga, but he's got a sequel series called The Tower Dungeon, which is, so Blame is a very sci-fi set manga without much speech in it, so it's mainly very visual. And the Tower Dungeon is similar to that, but it has more chatting in it, so it gives you a bit more idea of the characters. Whereas Blame was quite the setting tells the story, whereas there's actually a story in this. That I found this year, and that I'm very much looking forward to carrying on. So a world, just a tower has opened up, and they're trying, and I think there's a necromancer at the top of the tower, or a lich at the top of the tower, or a god, and the king. He's kidnapped the princess, but the king is turned into a lich, and so they're trying to climb up the tower to get to the king and the princess, and they find this dude turns up on anyone can go to the tower and try and help and sign up, but obviously this guy turns up, doesn't really want to fight, but he's like, yeah, I'm happy to help, and he just turns out he's just got mad endurance and stamina. He's got the anime trope backpack. Yeah. He's got that on, and they're actually like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, no, I got it. He becomes a royal knight, royal guard, and then goes off to try and help him save the princess. But the artwork's really nice, and it's got lots of non-human characters, which like cool little designs. And then what was the next one? Keep going.
Well, while you're looking, one that I've found that I'm really looking forward to reading more of is Centurion. So I do keep saying about that, and I will give the premise away because I haven't said it yet. But I think, and the reason it's why it's called Centurion, in the first chapter, there's a kid aboard a slave ship. He's sort of huddled on there for reasons, and there is sort of like a demon summoned while the slave owner decides to get rid of the slaves because they get more money from insurance than they do as being sold back as slaves. So he buys all the weak, infirm, pregnant slaves, goes out to sea, kills them all, comes back, and then claims the insurance on them. So he makes money that way. Dark. And in killing killing 99 of these people, summons this eldritch lich thing from the ocean, and it says like kill. There's 2 of them left. This one pregnant woman and this boy, and says if one of you can die and one of you will have the power of the 100 or something like that. So the woman very kindly sits herself open, gets her baby out, hands it to the boy, and says like live for my like child.
Yeah.
And what then happens is he gets imbued with the 100 lives of all the slaves. So all of their power, all of their knowledge. Well, I assume we haven't got that far. Well, I haven't got that far, but he does get all of their lifetimes. So he is pretty much immediately murdered after that, and then comes back to life. And it's like, what? And it's like, oh yeah, did I not tell you? Like you've got 100 lives now. So we just watched Puss in Boots with my daughter, and how Puss had 9 lives.
Yeah.
This kid's got 100. Well, now 99. So I guess that's what the concept, and it's very drawn, very heavy lined. It's got a lot of berserk sort of feel to it, and I heard about it because the writer of Dan to Dan and the writer of Chainsaw Man recommended it.
Okay.
They both came forward and said like, yeah, like you should check out Centurion. So very excited for more of that. But I want to hear more about you.
So my favorite of the year would be one. I can't find the Japanese title of it, but it was The Bugle Call.
Okay.
So when I first started it, I got a very Kingdom vibe from it.
Nice.
Because it was like Kingdom cross Berserk, almost.
Oh. Lots crossing Berserk today.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as dark as Berserk, obviously, but I don't know. It's just like the war setting. You don't see too many mangas set in just a straight up war.
Yeah.
You know? And it's about this kid that's with a mercenary group. And he is their trumpet player. Or their bugle player. Like he just sounds the retreats and everything like that. There's one particular battle that happens where and this kid, he's sort of like an outcast, obviously, because he's got this branch growing from his head. Well, maybe I think it might be it's either 1 branch or 2 branches growing from his head. And
tree boy.
Yeah, he's a weird little tree boy. And obviously this traumatic shit happens, and he awakens his like innate power, which is later on you find out is the power of the bugle call.
Okay.
And you can basically through music, he can transfer like his thoughts to people, sort of thing. So what he does is uses the horn to direct army formations.
Okay.
And like it's almost like mind control, but not. Like it will uplift your spirits to be able to do those actions that he's seeing.
Okay, so he empowers them as well.
Yeah.
The Conquerors hack it a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but he's imbuing it onto the people at the same time. But it turns out there's lots of people like him. They don't all have the same power abilities. They all live in these towers. And there's mad twists happened in one of the more recent chapters that I read. It's only like 30 in, I think. So
okay.
It's quite new, but they're long chapters, and I think it's like a monthly release. It might be a couple of years old by now.
All right.
But it fascinated me and gripped me straight from like the first page almost. I was like, ooh, this looks pretty.
Let's go.
Yeah.
It's a good sign.
Yeah, so that'd be number 1 manga.
Oh, cool.
Trying to think of some of the others that I've just read in passing. But...
Well, one that it's again not very far in, but was recommended through like the internet to me this year was, my pronunciation isn't going to be right, but Guy Katsu, the Trash Boy one.
Yeah.
So it's an a manga, sorry, about a little, well, they believe they're living in like sort of middle area, like not rich, not particularly poor, but not, super duper. Yeah. It's a
Gachakuta.
Yeah, okay. I absolutely murdered it. But maybe. He then is accused of murder, gets thrown off of what we think is just the sort of main part of the world, but turns out he's thrown off of the planet that they're on and lands on like the lower planet, which is trash planet.
Yeah.
But it turns out items are imbued with personality and, well, not personality as such, but with like a soul through use.
Yeah.
So the older something is, the more it's used, the more it's cared for, the more it's repaired, the stronger it becomes. And certain people have the power to let that soul out, as it were. And that's what it is. And again, only a couple of chapters in. I think I've read like basically the first volume. But I'm looking forward to reading more of that. And they're making an anime too.
I do remember reading this a while back. I think it only had like 6 or 7 chapters at a point. So it might have only been like a couple of issues out. But
I think that this one might end up being a bit like, do you remember Astro Royale was another one we started this year?
Yeah.
We read a few chapters into that, and that had potential, but it was just a bit goofy because it was the starting chapter. So it's just a bit, okay, well, I'll come back to this maybe when there's a bit more to it.
Yeah. It's still building up his buddy list, you know?
Back to the list. And as I said, this is the last list, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is the last one. It's got some of my favourites on it as well. So this year, I've also watched Zeta, Gundam Zeta, which obviously isn't from this year. We've already spoken about today. And one that I really think you should go back to is Double Zeta.
Yeah, because I need to like carve out some time for it.
Yeah, and only because it has reoccurring characters and reoccurring themes that I do think you don't need to watch it for timeline purposes, but just for fun show purposes. Double Zeta, I really, really, really rate it. The 8th Division is another Gundam one, and a really, really, really good one, if not one of the better ones. And Thunderbolt, which I absolutely gripped onto, and we've again got an episode about it. So a lot of these you will find out there is an episode about, or we've spoken about. I do say that a lot, but we have a wealth of content to go back and check out. Please do. I know if you're just watching us on YouTube, that's not here. That is all on Spotify. Pre-videos. Windbreaker, I've harped on about tons, but it's phenomenal.
That was a good show.
Really, really rated it. So that's about fighting teens, basically.
Delinquents.
About delinquents. It's really, really cool. The characters in it are brilliant, and you really root for them. And even the bad guys you find out a lot about, and you end up rooting for them too. It's great. Dragon Ball Daima, which is just more Dragon Ball, but that's what you want, really.
Yeah.
Very silly, very fun, getting some lore, can't complain. Potentially number one for me, this one. And so I'm just going to put it up here and now. But that's Dandadan. And that has pulled me into collecting manga again. It got me into like physical manga. It's got me rewatching shows over the same show. So I've rewatched it so many times at this point because I just think it's phenomenal. I think artwork wise, I think story wise, characters, musically, it's so strong. Like when beats come in and the way it does and the soundscape it uses is so original and funky. And I cannot gush enough about Dandadan. And I'm obviously further ahead, not as far as you, but further ahead because I'm up to physical release in the UK, and it's brilliant. It continues to be brilliant. It never lets up. And by the sounds of it, it doesn't. So that's really, really good.
Although I did read it out of 2024, having caught up to it in 2024, the Japanese release, it's up there in my favorite manga of the year, for sure. I just knew you'd be mentioning it as the anime, so I didn't want to mention it.
But yeah, so
it's a great story, and like I don't get why people hate on it for the etchiness. Like it's so like the first time's not exactly like it's horny; it's you making it horny, and the second time, like it's a cultural thing. Like that last episode.
Oh, the bath.
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, nothing actually happens.
No. So, I guess the people who are watching anime only don't know necessarily that nothing happens. There is that.
Tough luck spoilers.
Spoilers. Nothing does happen because I don't think it ever will go there.
The show, just trying to make you think, people. Use your brains.
What Dandadan does that's really mental, and why I cannot believe. So we were checking out Forbidden Planet yesterday, and Dandadan is a sealed 18+ manga.
Madness.
Like it's a hentai.
Yeah.
And it's like, No, it's not
It's
even.
not.
It never, ever, ever gets to the point where it becomes. Yes, we see an alien mechanical penis, which isn't, and that's as far as we're going because the underwear. It's not provocative underwear. It's like underwear. At no point is it trying to be sexy.
No,
You've got you never see
Stop
like
making
nips.
it.
Yeah, you
stop making it weird.
They're making it as unweird as nakedness could be, but nakedness is a fact of life. We're all naked under these clothes. I promise you, I these aren't glued to me. So yeah, I don't get it, but yeah, don't yuck my yum. Dan Da Dan is one of the most amazing things to come out of this year for me. Another brilliant, brilliant, brilliant show. Absolutely deserves its flowers. From start, middle to end, each episode I think is almost flawless, and that's Delicious in Dungeon. I just really like it.
It was a super nice watch. Like it was just, it reminded me of Ghibli.
Yeah, it was like a Ghibli series.
Yeah,
because you were learning about the ecology, and yes, they were murdering it and eating it, but it wasn't just like stab stab. They used ghosts to make ice cream because they were cold. It's so magical, and then it wasn't like these dishes were then gruesome in any way, shape, or form. They were phenomenal, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! How come I'm eating
cool dinner
anus and it tastes like dream?" And it also, though, it does with the show like that, it doesn't fall into that slice of life. Everything's okay with just showing you day to day because there is peril, there is a threat. Their mission is a dangerous mission, and you're constantly reminded of it. And so it allows that downtime to become so important, and it shows that you can't stress about these things. You gotta get on with it. I finally started watching Gintama, and they quickly fell off again. It's just so big. I struggle with big shows, but yeah, again, Gintama needs no more introduction other than that. Tower of God, which I've harped on about episode after episode after episode for the past month and a half. It's fine. It's Tower of God. I don't recommend it. And that's that. Claymore, I would recommend. I didn't realise I didn't know what Claymore was.
Yeah.
Definitely didn't come out this year. Definitely watched it this year. Definitely think it's great. Claymore, a story about demon witch claymores and
badass bitches with swords.
Yeah, basically.
Like that can maybe turn into demons at some point if they get too angry.
And although it doesn't finish the manga, it does finish the anime.
It's a confusing conclusion, but it's a conclusion.
It's a conclusion.
It should be open-ended, but sadly no season 2.
No season 2. Undead Unluck, which is another show that reminded me of the Fire Force animation. So if I found out that actually that was part of a universe connected, I wouldn't be too surprised at all. But I don't think it is in any way. Undead Unluck is available on Disney at the moment, and it's obviously a manga about this guy who wants to die, but his ability is that he's undead, so no matter what, he can't die, and he uses that to pretty hilarious effect.
Yeah, he's very imaginative.
Yeah, very
that's
imaginative.
One thing I liked.
Very video gamey as well. I feel like it. And then Unluck, and her power is anyone who touches her, and depending on how sensual maybe that touch is. So if it was like a kiss, then the bad luck that happens to the person that touched her would be greatly increased. So little tap on the shoulder, bird might shit on your head. You kiss her, plane will fall on your head.
Yeah.
And so Undead, quite openly from the start, wants to bed her. And he doesn't use quite nice terminology as I just did.
No, because he's determined that, hey, if we love each other and we bang, I might die.
And that's what he wants.
But then he also,
it goes places that there is stuff that you don't see coming.
Yeah.
And there is so many subplots. And it's not that I'm not going to bring up and spoil it. It's that I don't fully understand it in the best way possible, because there's a point in the anime, which one thing I'll spoil or, introduce to people, and I think it's really cool, is that there is a sort of head guy of their order, and it is a demon book. And I say head guys because that's what gives out the missions. And they fail one of the missions, and so the punishment is called Universe, this punishment. And what it does is it creates the universe. So prior to that moment, there was no other planets. Earth was on its own. Their world was its own tiny thing. and it says create universe, so it does. And then there's aliens in the universe, which is another negative thing. So the aliens come to the planet, and it's like that side of just that level of madness and that extremities it goes to. It very quickly Gurren Lagans it, and that's the one I always go to, which shows like you start off very small, literally under the earth, and you end up seeing the much bigger picture of everything.
Throw galaxies at people.
Yeah, it's almost like the fishbowl effect. The fish in the fishbowl is like, wow, my life's big, until it realizes that there's an ocean out there. And then another Disney one, Go Lose a Ranger. So very much a anti-Power Ranger sort of story where one of the shadow creatures decides he wants to fight back against the Power Rangers.
One of the parties.
Yeah.
Like, nah, man, ain't doing this no more.
No, I'm done. And
he finds out the secret.
There are lots of secrets, aren't there? But yeah, and he gets helped along the way. There are various different people who also share his goal for various reasons. But yeah, very, very fun one. I can say that about it.
I started the manga of it, but I did want to watch it because I thought I wanted to see it in colour.
Yeah.
That one. Because it's Power Rangers, I want to see a Red Ranger, Blue Ranger, Green Ranger, Yellow Ranger, Pink Ranger, Black Ranger, Orange Ranger. I want to see colours with it, and it just didn't hit the same.
I'll be interested to see, because it's quite interesting that we've just had that one. So we just had Go Lose Ranger, which is not its proper translation, but that's just what it's known as in the UK, and so I'm going with that. But there's the Red Ranger Isekai, which has just come out, I think, this weekend. So I haven't seen it yet. And I don't fully understand if it's the Red Ranger has been isekai'd or someone's been isekai'd and is now the Red Ranger.
I think it's the second one, maybe.
Yeah, but because it looks like all the Rangers are present. So, yeah. So another Power Ranger anime.
Yeah.
And there's been a video game. Like in the Turtles beat-em-up style, there's been a new Power Rangers game, which I need to put on my list because that would have been fun to play. Speaking of games, I don't know if you had something you want to go to next, but is there any games this year that was particularly stuck out for Stephen?
Recency bias, but Path of Exile 2 has been great fun. I've needed a game like that for a while, and there's not much that hit the itch there, but this one definitely does. Yeah, I can see the longevity in it, and I'll be playing it for a long time.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah. For the early access, you've only got 6 classes you can pick from, but there's 13 in the main game.
Okay, so it almost doubles in size.
Yeah, then there's 3 more story acts. So you only got 3 acts in the early access, then you repeat the first 3 acts on a harder difficulty, and then you're at the end game.
Okay.
But this will have 6, then harder difficulty, then end game. Nice long story to go through, a lot more content. We'll understand the game a bit better.
Yeah.
I'll understand the game a bit better. I still got no clue what I'm doing. I'm just arrows. Poison.
Well, you're playing it in your way, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
I did finally look up build and see if I was doing anything wrong, and I was doing a couple of things, because at the end game I started out okay, and then I very quickly plateaued and was like, oh shit, I am just dying every time I go out there. And the end game is kind of cool because it's punishing.
Okay.
So once you are level 70 and above, you start losing XP when you die. So if you die, you lose 10% of the XP of your XP bar progress. What it is what you're doing in the end game is there's a big map with fog of war, and there's little nodes on the map, and there's towers everywhere. You go onto a node and you place a stone on it, and you go into the map. You try. It's like a little mini instance. Some of them are quite big. You just go around, kill all the rare monsters. There might be like these little extra modifiers on the on the map. Oh yeah, on the node. So it could be like a boss monster. There's an expedition, breaches, deliriums, all this other stuff. And if you die in the map, you lose whatever is on it. Whatever waystone that you've used to open the map, you can make modify the map, so it will have like different prefixes and suffixes. Like on Diablo, it used to say like immune to frost, blah blah blah. So these are modifiers like rarity of items up, quantity of items up, quantity of gold. But then there's also loads of ones like you get 75% more monsters. All these horrible things as well, but you lose that. So it's quite punishing but rewarding, because once you complete it and start doing all right, it gets real good again. Yeah. Like trying to get my 3rd ascendancy points, I was doing this trial I tried it like 10, 15 times. I was getting progressively better as I went along, and then I changed my build a little bit and then I smashed it. It was really nice.
I'm glad you're still enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's got, it's hooked into you.
The other one that came out last year that I have dropped off playing, I did enjoy playing Brighter Shores to start with.
Yeah.
But now moving from playing a game like Brighter Shores to Path of Exile makes you realise how empty Brighter Shores really was.
Yeah.
And I was just sort of going through motions playing it, which was great. It was perfect for what I needed a game that I just had to click and watch a wheel and do nothing. Numbers went up. It was great for a while. And now they are reworking some stuff, so it's getting changes soon, which I will go back and explore. But that was I really enjoyed playing that, because I got getting to play with Ken. It's very rare. So it's always nice when we can get together and play some games.
Well, that's definitely a game that I've really, really enjoyed playing this year, and it's because I've been playing it with you. And that's Monster Hunter World / Iceborne, because we have finished World now, and we are playing Iceborne, and that's all up on the YouTube channel. Every time we've ever played, I think we've put it up there. We've always recorded.
Yep.
We've had some recording issues, definitely on my end, where the stream just dies, which is what it is.
Just PS5 doesn't like games.
Yeah, it seems that's what it is. Seems maybe it wants me to order it a new Pro to to give it some rest, much deserved rest as well. Because I do play a lot of games, but Monster Hunter World has been a great one to play with you. I've not particularly missed the creating armor aspect of it, which I thought I would. I've just been enjoying hunting monsters with you and learning different attack patterns and stuff like that. And I feel like it has actually prepared me now a bit for Iceborne, where the armor isn't as much of a help anymore. It's a hindrance for anything if you keep it on. So yeah, really, really enjoyed that, and I hope you've enjoyed.
Yeah, absolutely. I love. I know you've played Monster Hunter, but I love introducing people to new Monster Hunter games, because I think World is a joy to play, and it is one of my favorite games of all time. So to get to share that with people is always a pleasure.
It's been brilliant, and it's very exciting that Wilds is just around the corner now, 1 month away.
Extra beta we get. There's a couple extra monsters in this one.
Yeah, and the beta's in February, right? So it's just before release.
Yeah. I think they're releasing it at the same time as something else is coming out.
So
the Night Rain demo is the same time, the same weekend as Monster Hunter. No. Yeah,
Night
it's
Rain.
the same time.
So we've signed up for that. We did that this weekend.
And I'm pretty sure they're both over over Valentine's Day.
Fun.
Yeah. Night Rain definitely is. Because that's something From Software do. Like, we know none of you guys are busy. You'd be busy, of course, but the rest of us know.
A solo game that I thoroughly enjoyed this year, but surprisingly it's not that I forgot about it, it's just that I'm not holding it as dear as maybe as when I was playing it, and that's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So I can't believe that was this year.
You were playing that for a while.
Oh, I played it most of the year, which is again why I can't believe that it doesn't really stick in my head. And I was trying to do all the missions as I went through it, so I have hundreds of hours into that game, and I thoroughly enjoyed all the hours I spent with it. I really, really did. But it didn't really have, maybe because it's a game I play and know quite well, as in the original, but it seems to have lost a bit of the magic, a bit of the weird quirkiness, because the quirkiness and weirdness is there.
I felt that about the original remake.
Yeah.
It felt so empty without random encounters.
Yeah, it's almost a bit too polished as well.
Yeah, I get you.
It's a bit too clean, a bit too perfect, which is, I know what the whole point of a remake is. But that phone game that came out, I'd very much like to play that just without all the phoniness of it, where you get to replay all of Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, I started it, but I never Truly good. You know, it's a battle royale Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I think they dropped it. Yeah. Lots of stuff does. Sure. Because
wait, wasn't it Dissidia they dropped?
no, Dissidia is still going because that's the fighting game. They may have dropped. You could still solo it, but you wouldn't be able to solo the online.
No. So this was First Soldier was the battle royale, and then there was a Dissidia mobile game as well. But I think that one got terminated. I don't. First Soldier probably did as well.
Yeah, I just think they tend to terminate a lot of their games. So I played a decent amount this year, just to run through. So I'm not stopping on any of these. But Astrobot, Demon Slayer Sweep the Board, Doki Doki Literature Club, Alan Wake 2, Metaphor, Refantasio, which I haven't finished. That game was phenomenal. Dead Space, Silent Hill 2, Sparking Zero, Fires of Rubicon, so Armored Core, Final Fantasy Rebirth, Helldivers 2, Sonic Superstars, Zelda Echoes, Spyro Ignited Trilogy, Gundam Breaker 4, Daemon X Machina, and Ace Attorney 2. There is others as well, which I didn't realise. Bayonetta 3, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Mario RPG. I've a Parappa 2, and Theatre of the Final Bar Line. So I've played a lot, and weirdly, the one that I keep thinking back to, and I cannot believe of all the games I've played, this is the one. Silent Hill 2. I just can't stop thinking about how much fun I had playing that game.
Yeah.
There was something about hitting demon creatures in the face with a stick, which just felt so good. And I streamed the game. It was one of the first games I ever streamed. And it's not like I had a community, because I didn't. People jump in here and there. But something about that whole process, definitely the most fun I've had streaming a game. And I really liked it. And I'm such an RPG story guy. And there is a story to Silent Hill 2, but it's just what it is, yeah. A lot of it is, how can we make sense of this guy with a pyramid head? And I think if I'd have finished Refantasio, that would be my game of the year, because so far I really, really enjoy what I have played of it. But I just don't say I've had necessarily played enough of it. But yeah, so both of those, Refantasio and Silent Hill 2, which I just would not have. If it was the start of the year looking forward, there is no way that would have been.
Yeah, you would have thought about that one bit.
But again, if it wasn't a game that was released this year, then it would most likely be Monster Hunter, just because I've had so much fun playing it with you online and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good games.
Yeah. I've got to give a shout out to RuneScape.
Oh, yeah, RuneScape.
I play that almost every year. I got to go back to it a little bit. It's always got to get an honorary spot. Just so good.
I think time played for me would be Fortress Saga, which is hilarious to think about a phone game. Just doing my dailies. I bet anything, if I was looking up time played, that added up.
Yeah, especially because you didn't have the ad skip.
I did not have the ad skip. I've got it now. If there's ever an ad skip in a game, guys, and you've played it for more than 10 hours, spend the $5.
Yeah, just do it. Give the developers something.
Yeah, they deserve it. Was there any other honorable mentions from me? This was my first year where I really got into Junji Ito, so shout out to that. Uzumaki, Gaio, brilliant. But what I will say is that Uzumaki anime, stay clear. It's absolutely that's my biggest disappointment of the year, by miles, is watching that. Chainsaw Man, getting into that has been wicked. The manga, really enjoying that. Elden Ring manga, I think it's been brilliant. I've really enjoyed that, which I can't believe I'm saying. Yeah. And when it comes to books, actually, I was picking a favourite book of the year for me, I never actually got into that. It would be Final Empire Mistborn. Definitely my favourite book I've read this year.
Yeah.
I've read a lot of, I was focusing on horror at the start of the year.
Yeah.
And I was reading some weird fantasy stuff, and they were really good. And I was enjoying reading the series, but nothing gripped me in the same way. And again, I like having a story that I'm following with someone else.
Yeah. For books, other ones I would do, where would it go? The Broken Empire. It's one I pointed out to you yesterday in town. So what I bought before me and Ken went to Morocco. That might have been December.
Last year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure actually we went in December. No, it wasn't this year. Damn. No. Oh well. Yeah, Malazan.
Yeah.
Read Malazan all year.
If
you like Warhammer and you like read Malazan.
And just looking forward a little bit, So I'm just gonna quick fire anime you're looking forward to most that will potentially be coming out this year.
Ooh. I mean the next core of Bleach.
Sick. Chainsaw Man for me.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
really
that
forward to
one will
that.
be. Oh, you see, it's hard to have favorites because there's
Yeah.
so many things.
Favorite video game you're looking forward to?
More RuneScape.
My Monster Hunter Wild.
Oh yeah, well there that. I forget that.
Another and this is why I do my homework.
Yeah, that was never good. I didn't never come out. Always did it like 10 seconds before.
Favorite potential, but books a bit different because it's rare that we're like, this book's out this year, we'll read it. But is there a series maybe that you're looking forward to reading more of this year?
I'm looking forward to finishing Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yeah, that for me is the same. Dungeon Crawler Carl. So that's our. If you didn't hear from the end of the last week's podcast, Dungeon Crawler Carl is our new book of the.
Book one is just Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yeah, and what's his name?
Books.
Something Dinnerman.
Matt T. Dinnerman.
Yeah. So the first book, I'm about 150 pages in. Stephen's finished it, and
I'm on book 3
so far. Very excited. More about that in an upcoming podcast where we'll break that down in the Beyond Wars Book Club. But yeah, I can't remember where I was going with that. Books. Oh, things we're looking forward to. So books looking forward to. Is there any movies you're looking forward to coming out this year? You mentioned a trailer for me to check out.
Oh, the unicorn movie looks funny as hell. If Superman comes out this year from that trailer, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Superman.
Actually, 28 years later, I think is the best movie trailer I've seen in the last few years. And from that trailer, I would watch the movie. Because, it looked like a good movie from the trailer. Because it was a good trailer. Like, cinematically, how it was shot and everything. Like, the trailers just give you the beginning part of a movie in the trailer, then a middle part of the movie in the trailer, and then an end part of the movie in the trailer. So you kind of get the whole story, and I just hate that. Whereas this is just like thing, intrigue. Yeah, come watch me.
Yeah, I can't think of any movies that I'm particularly. I am curious to see where the Disney Marvel stuff goes. And that's more from like a morbid curiosity than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is going to be good as Doctor Doom.
But I want to know how they do it. I'm curious to see how this is all. Yeah,
he was Doctor Doom the entire time. Our universe didn't have Tony Stark yet. Didn't have Doctor Doom. 616, the MCU universe didn't have Doctor Doom. It had Tony Stark, and in every other universe, he's going to be Doom. Or like in some universes, he'll either be Doom or Stark.
They're the same person. Other shout outs to things that I'm looking forward to. One Piece Lego 2025. Very much excited about that. Now Game Boy Lego. Very much excited about that.
More Lego.
More Pokemon coming out. Very much excited about that. There isn't Pokemon Lego.
Oh yeah, Nintendo never going to do that.
No.
Oh wow.
They've allowed Mega Blocks, believe it or not. So that's where it doesn't make sense. But yeah, it's going to be
Lego probably wanted a bit more of a cut.
They probably did.
Yeah. You can't bully Lego, whereas you could probably bully Mega Blocks, whoever they are.
And it could be the year of the Switch 2 as well, which is mad. We could be hearing about that any day now. So I'm a big Switch fan. It's the game system I have the most games for, which is mad because I haven't streamed any of them. But I'm very, very, very excited for the release of the Switch 2, as long as it's backwards compatible. If not, I'm going to cry for a couple of days. I ain't coming out to play.
Has there not been like leaks of what it looks like?
Yeah, it looks the same.
Yeah, I like that I don't know. This is one I saw that the Joy-Cons, they look like almost magnets.
Yeah, they're magnetic.
You click them off, and then there's a little like case that can go around them.
Oh, I haven't seen that bit.
But it's not like it goes all the way around, but you kind of there's a little flappy bit that can like keeps them in place. So when you're playing, your Joy-Cons go free. Yeah. That shouldn't happen.
Oh.
With magnets, hopefully. But I'm also a bit worried about with magnets and memory. But it can't be too strong magnets.
Yeah, we'll see. Video game wise, Grand Theft Auto is this year as well, which is going to be a big for the gaming world.
Yeah, it's going
to be another huge release.
Because there's going to be some mad stuff going on in that game, I think.
Yeah.
Like, GTA 6 has like the highest likelihood to become the Oasis from what we've got in gaming.
You're not wrong.
if you can get any kind of VR into GTA 6,
yeah, you're not wrong.
like
if you get into role playing, that sort of stuff, yeah. Oh shit. Well,
we're going back into the simulation, guys.
This could be
this one's over.
Our first and last end of year
firmware update 17.7479632 is it's coming.
Right.
Earth patch.
And I think that's potentially a good place to end the 2024 wrap up.
Yeah, there's probably like 50,000 things we've missed, but we don't care because that was fun.
Yeah, it has been a good year.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed it. Lots has happened, and we've again lots to look forward to.
Yeah.
More Comic Cons, more Gunpla. Yeah, what to expect from us this year? More streams. Going to be streaming more. Going to be putting ourselves out there a bit more. Maybe buy some ads. Maybe buy some merch. Who knows? Maybe we'll get up to double-digit listeners.
Faces on a t-shirt. Can you imagine that?
Oh, that'd be so nice. So nice to just be able to look at myself on you.
I don't know if you can hear the sarcasm in his voice. I
can. But yeah, until next episode.
I've been Stephen.
And I've been Beyond Joe.
Thank you for joining us.
In another world. I feel like that's the Wayne's World thing.
Wayne's World, by time, all the time.